Well, good evening everyone. I'm Kian. I'm 17 years old. Imagine if the entire population of Britain was made up of school-aged girls. Now imagine that not a single one of those girls was actually in school. That is exactly the reality of the world today. There are over 66 million girls globally who should be in school but are out of school. Getting these girls to school will literally change the world as we know it. This may sound like an exaggeration, but consider this. The girls of today are the mothers of tomorrow. They are the primary educators of the next generation. The difference between giving or denying them full and equal access to education is the difference between prosperity and poverty. Countries where girls and boys are given full and equal access to education have fewer wars, less disease, and less hunger. That is because educated mothers can take better care of their children. So what difference does it really make? Let's look at India as an example. Less than 1 in 3 girls have received any form of secondary education. It has been calculated that if secondary school enrollment for girls increased by just 1%, the country's GDP would increase by $5.5 billion. That means that if all the girls in India went to secondary school, the country's GDP would increase by a whopping $360 billion, making it wealthier than Britain or France. So the argument for educating girls is blindingly obvious. It would literally change the world as we know it. Then why are 66 million girls still out of school in a world with so much wealth and potential? When I was 14, I spent a summer in rural Kenya helping to build a local school. That person with the glasses and the blue shirt pretending to work is me. I learned to live in a tent, shower outdoors, and go without the internet for a lot longer than I thought was humanly possible. When we visited the local school, though, I noticed that there were far more boys there than girls. I learned that while boys were learning in the classroom, girls were expected to stay home to cook, clean, and get married at a ridiculous age. When I left Kenya, I told my mother about what I had seen. I told her it was unfair, that it upsets me, that the future of so many girls was going to waste. So she said, "What are you going to do about it?" So I decided to take her up on her challenge. I set up a website to raise money for those girls in rural Kenya. Within 48 hours, I had raised more than twice the amount that was my goal. By the end of the month, I had raised enough money to sponsor 60 girls through primary school. I was amazed at how quickly my small initiative had created incredible results. So I said, why stop there? If I could so easily raise funds for 60 girls in 1 month, then why not 600? Why not 6,000? Why not, over the course of my lifetime, sponsor 60,000 girls through school? Imagine if just 1,000 other people did the same. Within a generation, every single one of those 66 million girls will have received an education. So I decided to start a charity to do my share. I founded Girls Right the Future to promote equal access to education for girls and boys, and to give youth like us the opportunity to be part of the solution. My goal is to send 60,000 girls to school over my lifetime, and I invite 1,000 other youth, like you and me, to do the same. As youth, we lead the way. We will build the world of tomorrow, and just 1,000 of us could completely change the world that our children will inherit. Today, we live in an inextricably interconnected world. We cannot remain indifferent to the suffering of others. Thanks to the internet, we can help those in need from thousands of miles away. The digital world transcends boundaries, both physical and psychological. Never before has it been easier for a local initiative to go global. We have the power to make virtue go viral. In February, I launched Girls Right the Future at my school. I organized a major conference with two amazing speakers. One of them was Sally Armstrong, a famous Canadian journalist who has written on women's rights around the world. The other was Dr. Shirin Ebadi, who received the Nobel Peace Prize for championing human rights in her native Iran. The audience of over 200 students and teachers was incredibly inspired. The speakers showed us what a difference just one person can make. I thought to myself at the end of the conference that maybe, just maybe, one of the girls that I helped send to school will one day become a great leader like Sally and Shirin and help inspire the next generation. This brings me to an obvious question that remains unanswered. Some of you may have noticed that I am in fact a boy. Why then should I care about the right of girls to education? Well, the answer is quite simple. I don't want to live in a world in which half of humanity is oppressed. When there's so much injustice in the world, we all lose. Think of it this way. Humankind is like a bird with two wings. One is male, the other is female. A bird with one wing can only crawl. It needs both wings to fly. Thank you very much.